In the days that followed the battle for the Britannia wasteland, people got used to the fallout created by the nukes in the end of the battle. Another part of the wasteland was closed off to the survivors. The Britannia remnants were formed after the Britannia military before the war. They had selfish intentions, but the battle for the Britannia wasteland forced them to disband. Everyone who stayed at Cabot Kingdom died in the blast caused by the nuke that failed to launch. The bunker that sat beneath Cabot Kingdom collapsed and nothing could be salvaged. The vast market that made the place popular was disintegrated, along with all of the food, water, medicines, tools, and everything else. The market became a graveyard, and the bodies were those of the last ever visitors. So much gone. Hell was many things: an army camp, a factory, a trading center, a slave pen, and much more. Everyone gave the place with everything under one roof a unique name. Some call it Redemption City, others call it home. The soldiers who stayed behind that day all retired from the demonic army, and that army was officially dead that day. They helped others whenever they could, in any way they could. They can't allow past misdeeds to be repeated. The metal factory thrived, with more workers taking shifts, allowing people to make more products when they wanted, and reduced weapons and armor manufacturing by at least 90%. Things became more peaceful, and a community was formed around that. It was a place to be. Home. New London stayed the same. The Peace Building was repaired, and it was used in the same way as it was before. People visited for trade negotiations, and it soon became what Cabot Kingdom once was. The traps by the entrance were disarmed and removed, allowing more people to come and go. A marketplace was formed. A group of people started a farm, and more life was given another chance to live in New London. As time ticked over to the 24th century, Candy finally moved house. The Supernatural Museum of Superpowers was no longer the home to anyone. Candy and her parents moved to the nearby settlement, expected to be shot out again, but after running away so many times, the settlers took her in. A child glowing one was manageable, but they weren't too sure about having two feral ghouls. Candy solved that problem by shooting them both in the head. Candy's childhood was taken, and she finally took it back. Days felt like decades. Now Candy had somebody to talk to, somebody to play with. Her life was back. Hub 42 saw the battle for the Britannia wasteland as a wake-up call. They could not be selfish and keep their incredibly advanced technologies to themselves. They were hesitant to do so, but they sent out members with those technologies to other settlements. They provided cooked food, lighting, electricity, and a lot more. The Galaxy Mother got in touch with Hell's metal factory and helped them produce the technology they had. It was a sign of good things to come, as Wastelanders enjoyed more luxuries again. As for James and Ferb, they stayed at Hub 42. This was their home before the battle, and it stayed as their home after the battle. They continued to learn more secrets about the universe since they were brought up by alien worshippers. They got really interesting on March 17th, 2300. They had a very special visitor from space. The Britannia Isles was a wasteland before the bombs dropped. Corruption running wild, people growing selfish, and violence only increasing. The bombs acted as a reset button for some parts of the world, but for the Britannia Isles, all it did was encourage the bad behavior. It took centuries for their villainous ways to be cured, but one thing was always set in stone. It's that war. War never changes.